9 experienced horror fans, 1 quiet house, and 2 teenagers who filmed themselves planning a murder. Why would anyone record their own crime before committing it? And what does that say about motive? In September 2006 in Pocatello, Idaho, 16-year-old Cassie Jo Stoddart was house-sitting for her aunt and uncle. A normal suburban night, a quiet neighborhood, nothing unusual. She invited a few classmates over, including Brian Draper and Tori Adamczyk. They watched a movie together, laughed, talked. Then Brian and Tori said they were leaving to go to the cinema. That was the story, but they never went. Instead, they waited and came back, wearing dark clothes, masks, moving through the backyard in silence. They cut the power to the house, hoping the darkness would drive Cassie downstairs. It worked. She thought it was a power outage. She had no idea the blackout was planned. No idea her classmates were inside the house again. They attacked her with knives, over and over, leaving the house as quietly as they entered. The next day, Cassie's body was found. At first, investigators didn't have a clear suspect. There was no forced entry, no robbery, no clear motive, just brutality. Then something strange surfaced. The boys had been acting off, talking about violence, about horror movies, about wanting something bigger, something unforgettable. Police later discovered a partially burned videotape buried near Black Rock Canyon. On it, Brian and Tori filmed themselves before the murder, smiling, laughing, talking about their plan. This is where the case becomes more disturbing than mysterious. Because now the question wasn't who did it. It was why. One theory is obvious. Horror movie obsession. They referenced the film Scream. They wore masks. They treated the murder like a scene. But millions watch horror films. Almost no one turns fantasy into reality. So movies alone can't explain premeditated stabbing. Another theory suggests a craving for fame. In the tapes, Brian referenced Columbine. He talked about how the shooters became known, how they transcended their school. Was this about notoriety? About escaping anonymity? If so, why target someone they knew? Why Cassie? Fame theory explains the recording. It explains the desire to document. But it doesn't explain the personal brutality. Then there's psychological reinforcement. 2 teenagers feeding each other's darkest thoughts. A shared delusion growing stronger with every conversation. Alone, maybe neither would have acted. Together, they escalated, each validating the other, each normalizing the plan. But that raises another contradiction. If this was mutual reinforcement, who initiated it? Who first suggested murder? Neither claimed full responsibility. Each minimized their role. Yet both appeared equally committed on tape. The footage revealed planning, a so-called death list, casual tone, no visible hesitation. That level of detachment challenges the idea of sudden emotional breakdown. This wasn't impulsive rage. It was rehearsal. After the crime, they returned to school as if nothing happened. That detail unsettled the community even more than the act itself. During trial, both were convicted and sentenced to life without parole. Justice, officially served. But the motive? Still debated. Were they trying to imitate fiction? Or create their own legend? Were they alienated teenagers chasing identity? Or simply individuals capable of extreme violence? Even now, nearly 2 decades later, a new documentary series has revived the case. Viewers still ask the same question. How do 2 ordinary high school students cross that invisible line between fantasy and murder? The planning was real. The recording was real. The attack was real. And yet the psychological trigger remains abstract. Because motive in this case isn't financial. Not revenge, not jealousy. It appears almost experimental, as if they wanted to see if they could do it. That possibility is perhaps the most disturbing of all. If violence was the goal itself, what does that mean? No single theory fully explains it. Not movies, not fame, not alienation, not peer influence. Each explains part of the behavior. None explains the whole, and that's why this case still lingers. Not because we don't know who did it, but because we don't fully understand why. 2 teenagers, 1 quiet house, a recorded plan, and a question that refuses to disappear. Why would someone film their own descent into murder? If you're drawn to cases where the official answers don't fully satisfy, subscribe to Unanswered Cases and explore the mysteries that still don't add up.